Hey there, we're back again with some more live coding lessons today. We're going to jump right back into the playgrounds we were working through yesterday. So we'll get you set up now. All right, so like yesterday, we were working through with both the book from the Everyone Can Code puzzle series and Swift Playgrounds. So what we're going to do is take a quick look at the book and sort of go over some of the things that we did yesterday. We went through the introduction, issuing commands, adding a new command, and even the toggling a switch lessons from the first commands chapter inside the book. But what we want to do is we want to go back over those again today and take a few other bits of information away from those particular playgrounds. There's a lot of layers when you're coding, and you'll often find that you'll go through it once. You'll discover a few things that maybe you didn't realize you could do before, a few tips and tricks. This is what older, more experienced programmers are particularly good at. They've been through it a few times. They know what works, what doesn't work, and they'll be able to show you maybe the most efficient way to do something, maybe the most elegant way to do something. But it's all sort of continuous learning, even when you're an experienced coder. So we can see here what we'll do is we'll jump back into the issuing commands playground, and we'll work through some of these extra elements that we can get. So when we open up Swift Playgrounds, again, we have the yellow rectangle here with byte. So we're going to click on our Learn to Code 1 and open that up again. And it should leave us off where we finished coding yesterday, which was toggling a switch. So we've even still got my code there from yesterday. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tap over here. There's the table of contents effectively. If we tap on this, we'll be able to see what the table of contents looks like. We can go back to the issuing commands. We don't need to go through the introduction again because that basically just explained to us what commands were. Now when I'm in issuing commands, yesterday we kind of walked through it. We had a look and we said, okay, well, byte starts here, so we're going to need to move forward once, twice, 3 times. This is a good idea, good practice to get into, is to sort of plan out what it is you're actually going to write, what code it is you need to write to collect the gem. You're also going to need you're going to get a feel for maybe running code that doesn't quite work the way you expect it to. So if we do this and we introduce a little bug here, which is just a defect in our program. I've added 4 move forwards, and as you can see, byte's only got to go 3. Otherwise, he might drop off the edge. Let's see what happens. We run my code. He goes the second step. He goes the third. Ooh, all right. That could have been deadly. Now we finished it, and we got a great work from the playground, but it's not quite right. So when we're debugging something like this, we have a few tools at our disposal here inside Swift Playgrounds. If you look over here, we have a speedometer looking thing. So if I tap on that, I'll see that I have a few different options. I can run this code the fastest, I can run faster, and those seem like the most appealing options, but stick with me here. We're going to go with the step through my code option. And what we'll do is we'll actually see what Swift is considering when it's looking through our code and it's running our code. So if I tap on the step through my code button, we're going to see a little arrow appears way over on the left-hand side of the page next to our code. This is a really handy tool to use when you're trying to figure out, just over here, when you're trying to figure out just where it is you've gone wrong. So if we do that again, we step through our code, and we can see first move forward, there's the second move forward, there's the third move forward, and the fourth, that's our problem child, and then collect gem. So we'd probably tap that once, and we can either delete that, which will leave a little artifact for us. And actually, we're going to see another type of debugging. What we can do now is if we try stepping through our code now with this errant little set of parentheses there, okay, cool. It did nothing. All right, great, because that's telling the machine to do nothing. So we can delete that by using this little delete key down here and cleaning stuff up a little bit. So that's a little bit of debugging to start with. Another thing that we may see, I showed you guys yesterday how you could type stuff into the keyboard. If we go back down here to this caret and we bring the keyboard back and say we type in, move forward ourselves. We want to get a real feel for typing ourselves. This is probably going to have problems. So if I try stepping through my code, I'm going to have an issue. And this is the Swift compiler telling me, hey, I actually don't know what it is you're talking about. We're going to get into functions and defining our own code in a little bit. But in this case, this is why we tend to use this completion bar here. So if I hit the delete key a few times, I'll have a move forward option down here in the autocomplete bar. I can tap on that. And if I step through my code, I can see that that red dot has gone away. The red dot's basically just telling me that my code isn't able to be run by the device. And there we go. That works. For completeness, let's get rid of that because we don't want to leave code that doesn't do anything. There, so let's move on to the next page. What I'm going to do is hit this arrow up over here. So we talked about it a little bit yesterday. When the puzzles get a little bit more complicated, you want to plan things out a little bit more. Now, yesterday we ran this code, and if we run faster, we'll see what happens. Byte moves a little bit quicker. Now, that's not the only way to solve the puzzle. We could have also said, let's move forward. Let's go past the gem and come back to collect it. Move forward. Let's turn left. Turn left again to get us to turn around, and then move forward again. And if we run this at normal speed, see, moves forward again, turns left, moves forward, keeps going, turns left, comes back, and collects the gem. You know, I used more lines of code here, which would have used more processing time on the iPad, which is maybe something you don't want to do. We can get into that in a future session. But you can see that the way that I'm doing it here during the session is not necessarily the only way to do it. There are loads of different ways to solve puzzles, and that's part of the joy of programming, is you'll do it differently than someone else. And and you'll be able to share those methods and find out which one of those behaved better. All right, so the next one, toggling a switch. Again, same deal. The interesting concept that this particular playground introduces is the idea of a Boolean value. So a Boolean value is something where it's either yes or no, closed or open, 1 or 0 if you're talking computer language. We're going to use this to determine whether or not we perform certain actions. A Boolean can also be something like, if I check outside and I see that it's raining, if it's raining, that's yes or no. I might bring an umbrella if it's raining. All right, so that's the toggle switch. If we run our code and see how we're looking. All right, we turned our switch on. Okay, cool. So we're going to move on to the next page, and we're going to do a little bit more practice. If we go back to the book, the Everyone Can Code puzzles, you'll see that portal practice, finding and fixing bugs, bug squash practice, and the shortest route, they're kind of additional content that cover commands. We'll go through that now just to get a bit more practice and to let you see maybe what the solution looks like and let us work through it. But you don't necessarily have to go through all of these commands. You could move on to the functions chapter now. Coding is like anything else. It's like playing a musical instrument or playing a sport. Practice makes better. Maybe not perfect, but it makes better. So it's worth giving it a shot. So let's go back and let's try out portal practice. This one's a little bit more complicated because we've got these teleport things. And if we read up here, the portal is going to teleport Byte from one place to another, and Byte's going to be facing the same direction that he was when he went in. So let's try this out. Let's plan it out. We're going to have a look here, and we're going to say, all right, so he's got to move forward, move forward, move forward. So that's 3 move forward. So let's write that code out. Then we're going to need him to turn left. So turn left, and then move forward, move forward. Now that switch is off, and we'd like it on. So we're going to move forward, move forward. At this stage, we're at the switch, so we want to toggle the switch. Now, if we move forward again, we're on the portal. And what's going to happen is we'll go from there to here facing this way. So now we have to move forward again. Turn left. At this stage, we're here facing this way. And then move forward twice. And at the very end, now we're underneath the gem, so now we have to make sure that we collect the gem. Can't forget the most important part. All right, so let's try running that and see how Byte gets on. There he is, taking off up the steps, doing our 3 move forwards, turning left, moving forward again, running our toggle switch command. There's the portal. We didn't have to do anything with that. We just moved forward onto it. We turned left, we moved forward, and we collected the gem. Again, that's not the only way we could have done it. We could have wandered around the map a little bit more. Maybe Byte wants to go exploring a little bit. But this is one way to get it done. And it introduces a new element as well, that we have to kind of jump from this point to this point here. So we have to kind of put a little bit more thought into these type of puzzles, and we'll see more of these as we go on. All right, so let's go back to the next page. So now we're on finding and fixing bugs, which is one of the most important things that a developer can do, and one of the most frequent things you'll be doing as a developer, whether they're your bugs or someone else's bugs. So we have this code already pre-written. So let's try running this code and figuring out where the mistake is. All right, he moves forward, turns left, moves forward. Oh, he's going down the stairs. He kind of missed our gem. All right, so he tried collecting the gem and then he tried toggling the switch, but he was off by a bit. Okay, so Byte isn't too happy about that. If we go back down to this speedometer icon again and we pick step through my code, we can kind of watch this as we go. So here we can see we're turning left, move forward, collect gem, move forward, toggle switch. Okay, we're a little bit ahead of ourselves here. So if we look at this turn left, that happens a bit too soon. So let's tap behind, move forward, and you can see the blue blinking cursor there. We'll hit the return key, and we'll actually have him move forward one more time. And now let's try running that. There's no harm, let's accept our time. Let's just try running that again to see how well we get on. All right, so we move forward an extra time, we turn left, we move forward. Oh, I think we have an extra move forward there. Okay, we almost had him fall off the edge. That's not great. So let's go back here. So let's see. So we turn left, he moved forward. At this stage, we're here on the puzzle. So we probably want to get rid of this. So if I just tap that move forward just once, I have a menu pop up and I can say, okay, delete that command. And let's try stepping through my code one more time. Move forward, turn left, move forward, collect gem, move forward, toggle switch. Perfect. You can see I've got an extra space here. I could add a million extra spaces here. The Swift is not going to do anything with that. Those aren't commands. It's just going to say, okay, cool. Well, I'm going to go from turn left up here all the way down here because there's nothing for me to interpret or run in this particular area. So great. We found the bug in the code. This is something that we're going to wind up doing. This is handy if you've got a brother or sister at home or a friend when we're allowed to have friends over again. Hand them over your iPad and to help them, have them help debug your code. All right, so now we've got some more bug squashing practice. This is kind of great because we've got some code pre-written down here. We've got a bunch of move forwards. And let's run it and see how we make out. Now, as you'll note up here in this particular challenge, we have one of the switches is already on. Now, to complete the puzzle, we want to make sure that all the switches are on and that we've collected all the gems. So let's try running our code and see how we make out. Okay, we're going after the switch first. All right, we toggled it off. Maybe that's not what we want to do. All right, we walked by some steps. We tried to collect a gem. All right, maybe this isn't what we want to do. So let's reset this guy and figure out where we're going to go from here. So we have move forward. This switch over here is usually on at the beginning of the puzzle. So let's not go after that one first. I think what we do is we go up the steps first. So let's do move forward, turn left, move forward, move forward. So let's see, move forward. We're going to delete that. We're going to delete that. So we're going to move forward. We're going to turn left, and then we're going to move forward twice. Now we're at the top of the little pyramid, so we're going to toggle the switch. That's good. That's looking good. Then what are we going to do? Well, we need to get up here. So if we move forward onto this portal once, twice, so let's move forward after our toggle switch. We've already got 2 move forwards written over here. At that stage, we're going to disappear from here and come back here facing this way. We're going to want to move forward once, move forward again, and collect the gem. So let's try that out. So we've got move forward once. We're going to hit this return key down here in the middle. And we're going to add another move forward. And then we can delete this last line because we don't need it. We'll have collected the gem. We'll have completed all of our tasks in this particular puzzle. So let's run our code. So we're moving forward again. We should toggle the switch there. Great. Move forward twice. We'll reappear on top of the little hill. Forward and collect the gem. Perfect. All right, so now we're going to get a little bit more sophisticated. So this is another aspect of programming. So we have the stuff that we've done so far is we've just been getting it done. We whatever way we solve the puzzle, we're getting it done. When you're programming, oftentimes you'll want to find the shortest possible way to get there. As programmers, we're typically pretty lazy, so we want to write as few lines of code as possible, because the more lines of code we write, the more chance there are bugs creeping in, and we don't want to spend our time fixing bugs. We want to spend our time writing cool software that builds the next Fruit Ninja or Angry Birds or what have you. All right, so let's try to figure out how we're going to get Byte around this bigger, more complicated world and toggle all the switches, collect all the gems. So let's figure it out. So we're going to go collect the gem here, collect this gem, and then we need to toggle this switch. How are we going to do that? So we can move forward 1, 2, 3 times, collect the gem. And then we could go through this portal to appear over here. We could also just take a left and walk a bunch till we get to these steps and then turn up. I think maybe the shortest way, in my opinion, will be to just go forward to the green pop out here, and then walk up and toggle the switch. But let's try it out, and then we'll try it the other way as well. All right, so let's move forward 1, 2, 3 times. So move forward, move forward, move forward. We're going to collect the gem then, because we're right here. Then we're going to move forward twice to get to the portal. Now we've popped up over here, so we're going to move forward once, twice. And we're going to toggle the switch. So how many commands is that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, that's not bad. Let's try running it. There goes, moving forward, collecting the gem. Keeps going straight. Appears back at our other green portal. Nice, so we found the shortest route. Let's take another look at that though. And so we did it in 9 steps. Let's see how many steps we could do it the other way. So let's go, I think we reset ourselves. And a handy thing you can do if you ever get completely stuck, which might happen, you can go up to these 3 dots up here on your playground. Tap on the 3 dots and you can hit this reset page menu item here. And it's going to say any changes you made to this page are going to be erased. Are you okay with that? We're okay with that. It's basically just going to delete all of our code. And sometimes that happens. You might get in such a mess that you need to just ditch it all and start from scratch. So let's see. Let's take a look at our map again. You can see up here we have our little tally of number of gems we have to collect and number of switches we have to toggle. All right, so let's start out with our blue portal. So what we'll do is we'll teleport over here, toggle our switch, jump into the green portal, and then collect our gem. All right, so straight off the bat, we need to turn left and move forward twice. We're going to turn left again because we're right here. And then move forward twice. Now this is going to have us popping out here facing this way. So we're going to move forward once, twice, 3 times. 3 times. Now we're going to toggle the switch when we're there. And then let's move forward once, twice. And then we'll appear here. And then we're going to move forward twice again. And then we're going to collect the gem. Now, another thing you might find handy, because Swift doesn't care about the spaces, you might decide to say, do you know what? I want to mark wherever I'm figuring out my puzzle. If I get myself to here, and I say, okay, cool, I've turned left, I've moved forward twice, I've turned left again, I've moved forward twice, and I'm at the portal. That puts me here. You might want to put a return there, just so you know, okay, this chunk of commands up here are all doing one specific thing. They're getting me to that portal. And then the next chunk is me moving up to toggle the switch. So I would separate that from the rest of my code there. And then this is getting me to the next green portal. And this section down here is me coming out and collecting the gem. It might be an easier way for you to read the code, but when we're counting lines of code, we would just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so it's a few more lines of code, but maybe we prefer this way of getting around the board. Goes, he toggles the switch, moves forward twice into the portal, pops out and collects the gem. Okay, not bad, not bad. And the code, the little celebration at the end will tell us as well that, you know, we could have done it in a shorter solution, but maybe we didn't. Maybe we wanted to make sure that we used all the portals instead of doing things the most efficient way. So that's our commands section. We've kind of gone through that pretty thoroughly now. We can see we've done all of our experiments. We've learned a bit of syntax, which is just the particular style we have to write code for Swift to understand. We've done a bit of testing. We've done a bit of debugging. You can see that here we've got some ways of counting our different commands. And we have some ideas for us to do kind of at home about, well, how else do you see commands kind of matching something in the real world? You can take a journal to make note of these things. Maybe take a look at devices around your house, like your fridge or your toaster, and figure out what commands you'd have on a particular machine like that. And what we'll do tomorrow is we'll pick up this same book, but we're going to go into the functions chapter a little bit, where we start to write our own code, and things start to get really interesting. All right, thanks for joining me today, and we'll see you tomorrow.